Hey there and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the unsung heroes of your body. You know, the microscopic master builders and, well, tireless workers that are running the show inside every single one of us every single second. We are talking about proteins.
So let me ask you a question. What's the connection between your muscles, your immune system, and maybe the eggs you had for breakfast this morning? What do they all have in common? The answer is just one absolutely incredible molecule. The protein.
All right, let's really get into this. To get a handle on what proteins are, you first have to see where they fit in the grand scheme of things. See, all life on this planet depends on four big types of molecules called macromolecules. You've got carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, and, you guessed it, our star for today, proteins. They're one of those foundational four.
Now, if you really want to understand what a protein is and what it can do, we can't start at the finished product. No. We have to go way back to the beginning, to the fundamental little pieces that every single protein is built from. We're talking about amino acids.
The best way to think about amino acids is to imagine them as letters in a huge biological alphabet. They're just these small repeating units that you can link together in all sorts of different sequences to literally spell out every single protein your body will ever need.
So, every amino acid shares the same basic structure, right? It's got a central carbon atom, an amine group, a carboxylic acid group, but that last part, that unique side chain, people call it the R group, that is the absolute game changer. If the other parts are kind of like the basic shape of a letter, the R group is what makes an A totally different from a B or a C. It gives each one its own unique chemical personality.
And this is where it gets just amazing. Your body performs all of its incredible protein construction with just 20 of these unique amino acid letters. Think about that. From just 20 simple building blocks, it can create a nearly infinite variety of protein words, sentences, and entire stories that carry out all the functions of life. It's wild.
Okay, but here's the thing. From our body's point of view, not all of these 20 amino acids are created equal. There are 11 of them, the non-essential ones, that our body can actually make on its own. But then there are 9 others, the essential amino acids, that it just can't make. We absolutely have to get these from the food we eat, and that's exactly why the protein in your diet is so incredibly vital. All right, so we've got our letters, the amino acids. The next big question is, how do they go from being just these individual little pieces to forming the complex, functional machines that proteins actually are? Well, it is all about assembly, and most importantly, shape.
I want you to imagine you have a long, straight ribbon. That's the primary structure, just a simple chain of amino acids. Now imagine you start folding little parts of that ribbon into coils, kind of like a spring, and other parts into zigzag sheets. That's the secondary structure. Then you take that whole folded ribbon and you crumple it all up into a very specific, complex 3D shape. That's the tertiary structure. And for some big proteins, you'll take a few of those finished 3D shapes and stick them together to make an even bigger machine. And that is the quaternary structure.
So here it is. This is maybe the most important thing to remember about protein biology. It is the protein's final 3-dimensional shape that determines its function. If a protein loses that specific shape, there's a word for it, denaturation, which can happen from heat or acid. It just can't do its job anymore. It's like a perfectly folded origami crane becoming just a useless flat piece of paper again.
Now that we have a pretty good idea of how these incredible molecules get built, let's get to the really cool part. What do they actually do? And the answer is, well, pretty much everything. They really are the master workers of the body.
I mean, the sheer versatility here is incredible. Proteins are like the steel beams that give our cells their structure. They're the enzymes that make chemical reactions happen millions of times faster. They're messengers like hormones, and they're the transport trucks carrying nutrients all over your body. They're your immune system's frontline soldiers, and they're what makes your muscles contract. It's like they're the ultimate multi-tool for keeping you alive.
So we've gone through a lot of the science, but let's bring this all back to you. How does this connect to your life, right now? Well, it all comes back to your diet and the protein story you're telling with every single meal you eat.
Okay, let's talk about something you've probably heard of, protein quality. Foods like meat, eggs, and dairy are what we call complete proteins. And all that means is that they contain all 9 of those essential amino acids that we have to get from our food. Now, most plant-based sources are incomplete, which just means they might be low in 1 or 2. That doesn't make them bad at all, it just means you need to eat a variety of them to make sure you're getting all the building blocks you need.
So, where does protein fit into a balanced diet? Well, if you look at the general recommendations, they suggest that somewhere around 10 to 35% of your total daily calories should be coming from protein. It's a really key piece of that macronutrient puzzle, right there alongside carbs and fats.
And if you want to get a little more specific, a good rule of thumb for most healthy adults is to aim for about 0.8 grams of protein for every kilogram of your body weight each day. Of course, that number can definitely go up if you're an athlete or pregnant or recovering from an injury. Basically, anytime your body is doing a lot of extra building.
And that brings us to our final section. Because with protein, just like with so many things in nutrition and in life, it really is all about balance. You can think of it like you're walking on a balance beam. You really don't want to fall too far off on either side.
You see, consistently eating way too much protein, especially from sources that are high in saturated fat, has been linked to some increased health risks. But the other side of that coin is just as dangerous. Eating too little protein can lead to things like a loss of bone mass and, in the most severe cases, really dangerous malnutrition.
And this table here, it really shows the devastating impact of what's called protein energy malnutrition. For example, kwashiorkor is caused by getting enough calories but a severe lack of protein, which leads to symptoms like swelling or edema. Marasmus, on the other hand, is what happens from a severe deficiency of all calories, leading to that frail skin and bones appearance. These are just stark, real-world examples of why getting that protein balance right isn't just important, it is absolutely essential for survival.
So, as we wrap this up, I want you to think of it this way. Your body is the busiest construction site you could possibly imagine. It is constantly breaking down old structures and building brand new ones. Proteins are both the essential workers and the raw materials for that entire job. So the real question is, are you supplying your construction site with all the right materials it needs to keep building